the demand actually, if you could tell us what is the growth?
Yes. See, one thing, I am replying to you because I am from the paper, I also know the paper, but the foundation objectives is we have nothing to do with the industry. With the industry, nothing to do. But whatever latest information we have, or knowledge we have, I'll share with you. There's a growth of roughly, I think we have given it in this, there is a 3% growth in the writing printing in India. Whereas in the other countries, it is on the minus side. Some of the developed nations, it's on the minus side. For writing printing. Packaging board, there's a good growth. We are having a roughly around 78%. They are saying it will go up. Even tissue, health products also, the growth percentage is high because particularly after the COVID, the consumption of tissues and other things has gone up. A lot of mills also coming with the tissues, and that is also encouraging. In India, the total paper industry is increasing because our average consumption is only 15 to 17 kgs per head, per capita consumption. Whereas internationally it is around 50 to 60, 70. Some developed nations, they claim they are having 150 kgs, 170 kgs. But average, at least 50, 60 kgs. That way there is a lot of growth opportunities. But again, as you have rightly mentioned, the constraints, one of the constraints is availability of the pulp and the government of this one. And you are telling the competition from the local industry faces from this. See what had happened, Government of India has entered into bilateral agreements with various nations. That will have an impact. Even if the government wants to support the industry, overnight they cannot do. It is a process. First they have to come out of the bilateral agreements. And even nowadays the Government of India is also, when they are making the bilateral agreements, they are trying to take the industry, traders, all connected people into consideration and discuss about the good and bad about entering into agreements with this one. And some of the agreements they are trying to cancel the agreements also, depending upon this one. And they are trying to fix up physical and non-physical measures. Government of India is considering to put it on the dumping of the paper by our Indonesia or China, because they are having huge capacities and India is their major consumption country. That's the reason they were trying, but they have their own difficulties.
Yeah, I know there must be some bilateral issues involved in between the two countries. I'm talking about the dumping duties that you're talking about.
Yeah, there was a dumping duty just 2-3 years back on copier paper. Then it has gone down. Then they have put non-physical measures like they have insisted for copier paper it must have ISI because there's a lot of cheap imports, cheap quality imports were entering into India. Then they have brought this to the notice of the government, and government immediately has told we fix the standards. The quality of the paper must be of a particular category, and they have insisted BAS. Because of that, the imports has come down, and also the quality of the imports has increased. Actually, Government of India and this paper foundation feels whichever India is able to manufacture good quality serving to the purpose of the job, if India can manufacture, we have to use that paper. For example, in the place of copier, there are very good products from India which a lot of companies are making, more than 20-25 companies are making, and it's a really good paper. There's no necessity, but few importers or whatever is the reasons they do that, we cannot stop it. But those ones, this foundation feels it is better to encourage the local. It's the same thing with, for example, newsprint. Newsprint, yes, is being imported because particularly you have a time factor on the main page when you want to print. You just want to print within half an hour or 45 minutes so that the next day morning the paper will get delayed. That's why you want to print the best quality available this time so that there is no breaks in the paper. But in India also, I think Tamil Nadu Newsprint Limited, he started with the newsprint manufacture to actually address this problem. But slowly they were converted into white varieties and packaging board because the profitability or the viability was difficult for them. And internationally they were finding it difficult to compete with the international newsprint manufacturers. That's the reason, one of them.